Advice of what to do with my 32M wife, 31F, and her friend 29F. Like the title says, recently I've been having this gut feeling about my 32M wife, 31F. She has this friend, 29F, whom I've known about since we've been together, so it's nothing like someone popping out of nowhere. They hang out at a minimum 2 times a week, and I get along with her too, so I just thought it was NBD. I am a pretty go with the flow type person and do not like confrontation. My family would say that it's my downfall that I won't stand up for myself. I feel like this is important to maybe get more of the dynamic of the relationships here. Anyways, like I said, I started having this gut feeling about them a couple of months ago, that maybe their relationship is more than what they present to the world, just some of the interactions and way that they act together when they're together in our home. Also, when she is here, they almost always end up leaving together and leave me with our 3 small children. Cut to today. I had a golf tournament, and as a result my parents had 2 of our children and she, my wife, was left to take care of our youngest, 10 Malio. I was able to get home around midday, like planned, to find her and this friend and our house sitting together in one lazy boy, single chair. Essentially my wife was in her lap. I didn't say anything and I took our son and started mowing our grass with him in my lap. About halfway through, we ran out of gas, so I headed back to the house and attempted to walk in the back door, which was locked. Weird, wasn't earlier, and I would be willing to bet my check that I saw them jerk away from each other when they heard me jiggling the doorknob. From there, my alarms went off and I told her to come outside, where I proceeded to ask her about their relationship, asked if it was something more, etc. I made it a point to let her know that I wouldn't be mad, I just wanted the truth. We've been together long enough to where we should just be honest with one another. What do you think happened? She blew the fuck up is what happened. She ended up saying I was crazy, drunk, and then proceeded to tell me that people have been asking her about me, like I've been cheating on her? Which Reddit, there's no point in lying, I haven't. I just want to know what y'all think, and if someone has been in this position before, please help me. I don't want to think she's cheating, but I can't stop that feeling. Sorry that this was so long. Too long, did not read. Curious about the extent of the relationship between my wife and her friend. I think normally guilty people try to twist things back on their accusers. I'm not cheating, but man, everyone thinks you are, is probably a sign. I haven't been in your position, but no way is this normal behavior between 2 friends. If nothing else, I just wanted to validate your feelings. I do agree with your family. If you don't respect yourself, then how in the world do you expect anybody else to respect you? What mom with 3 kids, one being 10 months, is able to hang alone her friend multiple times a week? The F? I may get downvoted, but if a man was his buddies multiple times a week sans kids, Reddit would tear his ass up. Is she cheating? Maybe. Are you incredibly stupid for putting a baby on your lap on a riding lawnmower? Absolutely. I don't have relationship advice, but for the love of God, don't freaking mow the grass with your kid on your lap. There are 1,000 horror stories that resulted from this exact scenario. I have 3 girlfriends I'm pretty affectionate with, says a lot about how close we are. I'm not touchy in general, but these women are my safe spaces. Hugging, a cuddle, holding hands would not be weird for us. That said, the only way we would end up on each other's laps would be briefly as a joke, or if there's a lack of seating. Also, our affection wouldn't require hiding or jerking away from each other, as it's innocent and friendly. I'd trust your gut. Her blow-up seems to also hide a guilty conscience. Me 28 male saw random girl name on Instagram messages on 28 female phone. Me 28 male put my girlfriend 28 female phone on charge, and I saw a message from a girl called Hannah say, "How's everyone XX?" So I just asked my girlfriend who's Hannah. She's never mentioned her before at all, not even anyone close to this name. It wasn't meant to be me interrogating her, it was literally just a question. And she went off, and one told me it wasn't a message and I didn't see it when I clearly did, and now she stormed off with the phone shouting at me saying how she wants to break up with me and she hates me all because I asked who's Hannah. While I would have easily assumed Hannah was a bot, your girlfriend's reaction has created more questions than answers. Anything I can give would be just speculation. Hannah is a name to throw you off so you won't know it's a man. You caught her off guard, and she couldn't lie fast enough and lost her shit. A person who has nothing to hide would not react defensively to a simple question. Only recently did my husband ask the same question about a random Instagram notification that popped up while he was using my phone, and saying, "This is X girl I chat with sometimes about X thing," took about 3 minutes of my day. He had exactly 0 follow-up questions. Had he asked me to see the conversation, I would have had 0 reason not to show it. It would have taken a further 4 minutes of my day at the most. There's privacy, which we are all entitled to, and there's concealment. This sounds like the latter. That said, there is also being controlling. As someone that has dated a person that insisted to see every single message I send in the space of a day, that's not okay either. We're missing some info here, could be from her, could be from you. Do you have a history of being overly nosy and controlling about who and how your girlfriend interacts with others? Are you a surveillance BF? Or is she a sneaky GF? Very strange behavior. Especially for a 28-year-old. We have no context. What kind of boyfriend are you? Do you often track who she talks to? How do I, 24M, help my girlfriend, 25F, understand she has anti-LGBT biases? So I will say it straight off that my girlfriend is heterosexual and I am bisexual, and she knows this, and knows I have dated men, but only had one boyfriend ever. We have been together for about 9 months, coming up on 10, and we don't live together. Throughout this time she has made a few comments that I always just took as jokes, and she seemed to be joking when she said that. For example, I sent her a reel on Instagram about a gay couple, and she replied, "Gays? Ew," which I took as an obvious joke because she has 1 or 2 LGBT friends and is also dating me. She has made similar jokes but always in private, and she is openly supportive and serious when I discuss issues facing the LGBT community. Outside of that, here have been a few times where she has said some off-putting stuff about LGBT people. We had a bit of a disagreement a month or 2 ago where she said that she thinks lesbians are weird for trying to look like men. I tried to explain the history of butch lesbians and the homophobia in society causing many gay couples to have one act masculine while the other acts feminine to fit in better, and it became a part of gay identity for many people, but she didn't really seem to get it. Anyways, this has come to a head for me a bit after some recent events, if that is the right phrase. Of course, being LGBT, I have a lot of LGBT friends. Even my best friend of 9 years is a bi-trans woman. One of my friends is a gay man I have known for a few years, who likes to on occasion wear feminine clothing and clothing made for women. My girlfriend has referred to him as a femboy, even though this is not the term he would use. I have simply brushed it off as I know it's a widely used word today, especially in online culture. We can call him E. Anyways, E and I have been hanging out a lot more than usual lately because we are both big Star Wars nerds and Fortnite players, and the latest season of Fortnite is all Star Wars themed, and he has been coming over every week to binge watch the newest season of Andor, as they release 3 episodes a week. We also usually buy something to eat after at a fast food joint, just to talk over our thoughts from the episodes. My girlfriend commented the other day that she doesn't like me hanging out with E so much, because he is a femboy and gay. I was a little surprised by this, so I asked why, and what the issue was. She told me that, to me, femboys are something sexual. I was very shocked by this and told her that he doesn't really consider himself a femboy anyways, but also that she is just talking from a bias, and there is nothing inherently sexual about clothing, and that I had never even considered him like that. She told me that from her point of view it's weird to do, and that it's a sexual thing. I essentially just dropped it from there, as I didn't really know what to say. How can I convince her that what she is saying comes from a place of internalized homophobia, and that it is a bias, not a reflection of the real experiences people have every day? Too long did not read. My girlfriend is straight, I am bi, and she makes some odd jokes about LGBT people, and has some biased opinions. How can I show her that she is biased? Are you sure this isn't some sort of bi erasure going on here? She knows you're bi, sure, but you're also with her, a straight female. She might imagine that she can give you something that men cannot. As in, her femininity. There might be some part of her that feels jealously over and even threatened by your friend's femininity. She may be labeling it as femboy, weird, and sexual as a way to dismiss the notion that men can be feminine too. Overall, it seems like she's an ally in theory, but not in reality. Also, jokes are meant to be funny. Gays, ew, is not funny at all. Hey, I'm really sorry, but it's not internalized homophobia if your girlfriend is straight. It's just homophobia. If you think she is open to listening to you, by all means sit her down and have a conversation with her. Say you're concerned about the way she talks about people's sexualities and gender expressions. But I think you may need to prepare yourself for the possibility that these views run pretty deep. She has very regressive views and she doesn't fully accept you. If that's the case, it's not something you can change, and the choice you have is live with it or break up. Her comments would be a huge deal breaker for me. I'm 34F and bi, but they would be even if I were straight. Dumping her will probably get your message across quite easily. It isn't internalized, she's just fully homophobic. Internalized homophobia only exists if you yourself are homosexual. Otherwise, in her case she's straight and it's external homophobia, which is just homophobia. Your girlfriend is homophobic, and figured you're basically straight if you're dating her. Don't bring her around your LGBT loved ones, or also you. This isn't a agree to disagree thing. You thought she was someone that she isn't. You're dating a homophobe. Wow. To me femboys are something sexual. Is significant other gross? It's literally objectification. And implies that her opinion on the matter is more important than yours despite you having more familiarity and knowledge with the LGBT+ community. And your friend who doesn't even self-identify as such. Which is disrespectful. I don't know, man, it sounds like you've done a lot of trying to have conversations in which you explain the biases to her but she either isn't really hearing it or doesn't want to. I'm also bisexual and I've had heterosexual partners who chose to ignore or flat out deny my sexuality, and I've got a feeling that your girlfriend would also prefer to see no evidence of your own queerness, unfortunately. I, 20F, feel gross about something that happened with my boyfriend, 20M. I've never posted to Reddit before, but really needed some unbiased opinions. A week or so ago, my boyfriend and I had just gotten done messing around and were laying in his bed. He started being kind of playfully aggressive, which was fine, but then he started biting me. Typically when we're messing around, I find biting attractive, but it's typically not very hard. This time, we weren't messing around and he started biting me hard on my arms, my chest, my thighs, etc. I asked him to stop because it really hurt, but he would just move on to the next area. Afterwards, I expressed to him that I wish he had stopped when I asked him, and he said, "But you like biting." I told him I didn't like it this time because it hurt and I had asked him to stop. He just kinda sighed and said, "You hate me," and pouted. Then I made him feel better. It's been a week or so, but I have bruises from where he bit me and I feel gross looking at them. Typically when he leaves bruises or marks, not all the time but sometimes it happens, I like them, but this time it just makes me feel gross. I feel like I have to hide them from my family so they don't think he hurts me, because that's kind of what it looks like. I showed them to him today and he complained that I was making him feel bad, so I just didn't say anything. It's been on my mind though. Any advice as to how I should react? Sorry if this is worded poorly, I hope I got all the info across correctly. Any opinions or advice would be helpful, thanks. Too long did not read. Boyfriend bit me and left bruises, I'm not a fan. Notice how you had to make him feel better after he hurt you and you didn't like it. Abuse and manipulation. This will get worse if you continue the relationship. It doesn't just look like that, he is in fact hurting you. I don't want to always instantly advise to break up, but man, that's genuinely abusive. And then having the audacity afterwards to complain. Huge red flag. Why didn't he stop when you told him to? There's really no other way you can take the word stop. He should have listened to you, but he ignored a clear boundary. Not only that, but when you bring it up he immediately makes it about himself. To break it down even further, he did not care that he was hurting you. This will only get worse if you do not leave. Let's recap. He did something that you didn't like, and you asked him to stop. He ignored you and kept doing it, something he knew was hurting you, you didn't want. Then when you raised this with him afterward, he again ignored the impact on you and made it all about him. He had 2 chances to demonstrate he cares about and respects you and he failed both times. This behavior is a red flag. He is selfish and, more worryingly, doesn't respect your boundaries. What boundary will he ignore next? Ew, he didn't stop when you asked him to, and then acted the victim. No wonder you feel gross. To me this is a crossroads. If he does not take responsibility, you either leave or risk future abuse. How can you stand to have sex with this huge baby? He just kind of sighed and said, "You hate me," and pouted, and then I made him feel better. Are you kidding? No means no. Don't $C king bite me. Don't make him feel better. Don't hide the scars from anyone. Dump this abusive loser.